This video is intended to describe a lightblade wand named Abundance, as well as a notarization of its fraternal twin of the same name and same crystal ignition order of Abundance as well. So first things first, as a preface, this construct is the 9th rendition in close succession to develop a very exaggerated, intensified network of the Abundance spectrum that's been, like I said, the 9th rendition is right here. This guy technically being the 8th with 7 predecessors right before it, as a very concentrated emanation of expanding this particular abundant reality with vibrational compound interest. So I will go ahead and discuss the primary blade band scaffolding for this entire construct, which of course mimics exactly like this guy right here, since they are fraternal twins of both named Abundance. So I'll go ahead and discuss the handband section, which would be the transmutation ratio right here, consisting of hematite to be a very strong grounding of excess energy, as well as this rendition of Abundance spectrums actually incorporate rutilated quartz as one of the subcapacitation agents to run the current through the structure, to make a intensification of the transmutation of the primary Abundance focus. So the hematite works, like I said, it was a very good grounding metal-based agent to ground all energies through the root, through the earth stars, and into the earth meridian matrix for reprocessing. The rutilated quartz has bands of rutile in the quartz, which of course, quartz is a neutral ambient energy amplifier, but the rutile can serve like a supercharger to intensify whatever frequencies run through it. So the intensification of the grounding and purification is of a highlight on both the brass for the projected yang output, as well as the silver to be the receptive input yin of the same exact frequency on both sides. Once this video is concluded, of course, just like this guy, will have green leather installed here. But I'll get back into the transmutation ratio. Then going from rutilated quartz to hematite, once again, then into smoky quartz. Smoky quartz is a very fantastic grounder of negativity into positivity that can ground excess energy by taking any negativity, transmuting it by giving a strong connection to Mother Earth for two-way reprocessing. So this rendition, like of that of the typical transmutation ratio, has this tremendous intensification with the rutilated quartz to run the current, like I mentioned from the top, hematite into rutilated quartz to accelerate into hematite, then hematite into smoky quartz to further ground. So this combination of the transmutation ratio is rather exotic, but it's been very prevalent in all Abundance constructs to make a grounded intensification of the primary directive, its vibratory output. So those guys are the handbands connected here. So I'll discuss the main heart of the blade, or the engine band, if you would. Starting off with the hematite once again to ground the energy, then smoky quartz to purify. And this rendition actually has pyrite. Pyrite is a masculine cousin to hematite that has a strong stimulation to the solar plexus, as well as a good way to ground and project this energy as well, to have the intensification of the direction of the current and a metal-based filter to bring further tangibility to the transmutation ratio. So as a quick preface also, with these lateral bands and these handbands right here in the engine band, this works as a scaffolding to encourage the grounding and projection and tangibilization of this entire energy, which works as a great contingency to be a further effort to make the magic real in its particular crystalline ignition sequence. Then seen right here are the lateral bands that where these guys ground into this right here to recirculate the energy. Just like the main engine band, heart band if you would, same thing with smoky quartz, pyrite, smoky quartz, then hematite in the same sequence. Then I'll go ahead and discuss the focus of the energy of the Abundance on this blade band right here, which starting off with 8 clear quartz to be the premier number of Abundance seen on both sides in perfect balance. So the clear quartz will work as a great neutral accelerator of the energy through this entire closed loop circuit. then clear quartz, then into emerald. Emerald is the quintessential king and queen of the green ray heart chakra stones, as well as being a great stone of notoriety that's been a precious and famous stone of abundance for thousands of years, which has a very powerful connotation of being a precious stone of that particular green ray. Then subcapacitated from the emerald is golden healer quartz. Golden healer quartz is a fantastic gold by light Christ frequency source emanation alignment that puts one's energy in touch with the central currents of creation, which of course is irreplaceable in its metaphysical value, and particularly utilizing as a subcapacitation agent between the green ray focus. It makes a very fantastic source heart alignment of this abundance as well, which can basically, of course, really work to put one in touch with their dharmic blueprint of their true natural birthright of abundance is the intended goal of these concentrated devices. Golden healer quartz, then into peridot. Peridot is a fantastic earth elemental 3rd and 4th chakra stimulant that is very, very much powerful positive energy. And so, as an analogy I utilize, it can be considered crystalline vibration of chlorophyll, the color of growth of how all this happens. So inherently, it's a very powerful abundance frequency to generate positivity in all aspects of the endeavor, particularly in conjunction with the clear quartz, then going back into emerald, being the water elemental green ray precious stone of notoriety. As well as peridot has quite the legends of utilization for abundance as well. So the two combined with the clear quartz and the golden healer quartz makes a very fantastic source, heart-centered alignment of abundance that is what is designed to perform in that capacity. Hence, the expansion of this field, this being the 9th entry in very short succession, is of course developed to further capture this lightning in a bottle to tangibilize and become real in that capacity. So that would be just the primary blade band scalping discussed with the transmutation handbands, with the exotic variation of root-related quartz to accelerate the grounding and purification of this reality, with the transmutation with the pyrite to further bring it into form and focus through manifestation and intention, to complete the circuit into the green ray blade band, vaguely resembling a figure 8 to contain perpetual momentum of these other crystalline structures yet to be mentioned through a closed loop reactive infinite circle as a reference. So that'd be the blade banding. So I'll go ahead and discuss the engine. And once this video has been concluded and all components are notarized, this engine section will have white leather installed for many purposes, as well as actually honeycomb, we're seen right here from my neighbor bees, actually, fun fact, from the, of course, Mount Shasta locals. They lived there their entire life. And this will be incorporated underneath this hood section to incorporate the magic of the bees. That's a whole long subject which I may omit to condense this video, but obviously the connotations of ancient Egypt, which is very near and dear to the heart of the recipient of this device, and very important, as a matter of fact, for resonance sake, is a great homage to have the magic of bees who, by nature, develop perfect sacred geometric combs in everything they do, as well as even the way they fly actually defies scientific explanation because their power to weight ratio should not justify their ability to generate lift, because they emanate a vibration that is transcendent and generates lift, which could be theorized to be a big core of Egyptian magic. So the bee honeycomb, organically handcrafted by my neighbor bees, will be incorporated under this hood, which will have the white leather seen here. White leather, of course, will serve as many purposes for this construct: to be a way to insulate and condense the excess energy of this entire section, B, to protect all the subtle stones stacked as seen right here, as well as B3, or C, B, the aspect also of color therapy resonance of the white ray, diffusing the 7 rays very evenly through the entire engine apex. And D, it also provides an aesthetic covering that can serve as a way to, of course, look like a more finished construct. Then once the white leather is installed, these mystery school-esque Egyptian magical symbols will be incorporated. This side, of course, will have the Ankh, the key of life, with many beautiful cartouches honoring the old ways in here. As well as on this side, since it's perfectly concave, seen right here, with the right eye of Horus particularly very important to the recipient, will of course be mounted like so, to be a great homage to the spiritual mastery of the recipient in this capacity, with a very powerful nod to the ancient Egyptian mystery schools that of course, great magical prevalence. Okay, that's enough digression about the leather. As well, actually, while I'm at it, I might as well discuss this too. This, of course, will be cut to proper length, just like the fraternal twin seen here, and will be wrapped utilizing the same concept of insulation, color therapy of the green ray augmentation to focus the energy in the particular emanation, as well as that's primarily it for the section of why that's so important for right here. And at the request of the recipient, being a fraternal twin to this one, that's why it has a more exaggerated secondary core that is screwed into the primary core, both being of oak. From my backyard, seen right about there between these two trees is where that oak came from. And so the aspect also, having Mount Shasta grown oak, of course, and oak being a very strong atomical structure, brings a very powerful strengthening to the entire vibratory pitch through the earth bandwidth of wood to ground the energy further into the earth band tangibility by using the core of a sacred one-legged of oak. Okay, now, time to talk about the engine. So this right here will be the main heart of the device, of clear Lemurian quartz, which serves as a great neutral programmable resonant quartz structure that will resonate very well, of course by design, with the recipient's energies of the higher self matrix running through, and also of course most importantly, putting prayers and intentions of the abundant nature, obviously for a precise focus, into the structure to run the energy through the entire closed loop reactive circuit. And right here, this would be golden healer quartz, just like mentioned at the blade band right here, plays a prominent role to have the gold white light Christ frequency emanation being a very powerful dominance in the structure. And luckily, this golden healer quartz I acquired actually has been shaped to look like an angel, which has a very nice angelic imprintation concept homage to have the divine intervention aspect of abundance, that's our natural birth weight, just even be represented in a crystalline structure seen right here of golden healer quartz, to be another dose of that gold white light Christ frequency emanation alignment, which is of course in alignment with our true abundant nature as children of Creator in that capacity. Just a nice little heavy concentration dose for that purpose. And right here, the very apex, is Star Argonite, a true master healer of this age, a calcite-based Star Argonite crystal is very powerful for clearing the entire light body from top to bottom. So you can think of any impediments in the entire structure to be rapidly dismantled and cleared by the Star Argonite as a true master healer, as well as being a very powerful bone energizing atomical structure fortification frequency that of course can actually increase the vibration of the bones, our most dense part of our human scaffolding, to be a very powerful way to fortify the framing of our avatars with gold white light in conjunction with this guy right here. So a very fantastic full light body stimulant that is a true master healer of this age, that is virtually a staple in all wands for this exact purpose, even talismans at this point too, to make even small pieces work. Then right here is black tektite. Black tektite's a very nice black ray cosmic boost from the Earth up, as well as being the product of a nickel iron meteorite impacting sand, holding that extraterrestrial jolt into reality. So the aspect too of black tektite makes a very fantastic vibratory increase of the entire closed loop reactive circuit. But luckily, from a black ray Earth up vibrational full fortification to intensify a more anchored, strong vibratory pitch of a more enlightened light body. A true staple in light tech for many years for this exact purpose. Then right here is fulgurite. Fulgurite, much like black tektite, is another full light body stimulant of great intensity, utilized by First Nation shamans to intensify their prayers back to spirit, where were utilized by the medicine people, of course, to serve the tribe, serve their people, and serve creation, and to intensify their prayers with lightning, the power of lightning quite literally caught in sand, which makes a very powerful stimulation to the entire chakra column from top to bottom with the power of lightning, as well as being a tremendously powerful manifestation agent, hence the First Nation utilization of this magic for their medicine. Okay, so this next section I'll discuss in one shot because they're all very relevant together. I'll be discussing the jasper and agate sections as one shot. So the aspects of having earth, red jasper, stabilize the root chakra, earth energy. Then fire agate right here, stabilizing the root, sacrum, and solar plexus in the fire energy range. Then right here is moss green agate, which will be further discussed for many purposes up here, which I will address individually, but for the purpose of this containment, moss green agate is a green ray heart chakra stabilizer of great notoriety, water elemental. Blue lace agate is a great stabilizer of the 5th chakra, water element, to stabilize the 5th chakra. Then grape agate is a fantastic purple ray wind stabilizer of the 6th and 7th. So thereby, the stationary structure of this device has the representations of earth, fire, water, and wind in the stabilized pitch to encourage the stabilized elemental spectrum of the 4 directions within the system. Then this right here is actually a piece of oceanic calcite. This is white calcite, which by itself makes a fantastic white ray clearing of stagnant energy from top to bottom, the entire auric field. But the aspect of why it's so prevalent and more potent is that it has been literally tumbled by Mother Ocean for perhaps hundreds or thousands of years. God literally knows how long that's been going on. So the implementation of the oceanic clearing capacity is well represented in this crystalline structure, which is of course an agent to clear any aspect that could perhaps be contributing to the aspect of natural abundance being generated in this capacity. Hence the goal of these platforms made consecutively. Then right here is prehnite, as well as right here for a double dose. Prehnite is a very fantastic 3rd and 4th chakra clearing, stimulating energy of both the earth and water elements. It is a very, very fantastic healing energy, a true master healer in its own age, as well as being a tremendous vibrational connection to the Raphael force, Raphael the Archangel, the connection to the healing great green ray Clohan of creation. And so it makes a very fantastic further stimulation of the primary blade band complementary to have the soothing and stimulation of the impeccable 3rd and 4th chakras to be in connection to the union of creation. Nice little healing dose right there. Then right here is Mount Shasta serpentine. This serpentine is actually from my riverbed right here at the tip of my pen, you can be seen right there, which has a very nice nephrite jade transition going into it, which naturally happens with this geological formation. Serpentines are very fantastic stimulant to the entire light body from the base all the way through the entire structure to intensify the Kundalini natural flow of a healthy light body. And also, of course, it's a Mount Shasta local, with the nephrite jade being a slight jade connotation, which of course has a slight loose association to stones of opulence and abundance as well, through the Orient being very well notarized utilization of jade, which will be discussed up here eventually, to cover all bases of opulence and abundance, obviously. Then right here is ruby and zoisite. Zoisite's a fantastic green ray, heart-mind coherence engager with a little bit of ruby to be the premier red ray precious stone of opulence and a very abundant stone in its own right, considered in legend and magic, to stimulate the root chakra. So the combination of these three make a very dynamic heart-mind coherence engagement with the root chakra, which is a great trifecta for true abundant gain shifts in perception of reality. Then right here is a lovely piece of scoisite. Scoisite is a fantastic white ray stone of divinity that has a great stimulation to the 6th and 7th, 8th, and non-physical chakras. So it's having a little dose of this brings the witness self inner calm, inner peace that is that of the abundant spectrum. So obviously all these crystalline allies mentioned and yet to be mentioned thus far are all wire wrapped together in a single primary wire to generate vibrational compound interest, much like organs of an entity, if you would. So that, of course, has the connotation of bringing all these aspects in complementary fashion in one closed-loop ignition sequence. Okay. So this right here is a very, very critical piece of the component as smoky celestial quartz. Smoky celestial quartz is a very fantastic smoky quartz-based stone, which naturally gives a nice grounding context of energy, the pathways. But the celestial format plays a critical role in very much being a very powerful auto-regulatory frequency generator, which of course means that the structure of this device of the Celestial works very well in the higher self resonance of whoever is wielding this device to, of course, be a very powerful way to make the energy of this device very auto-reactive to the requirements of whoever is wielding it, based on situational context, based on the highest good and highest self of the recipient. So it's very complex. It also works as a great safety measure to ensure the contact patch and vibration of this entire closed-loop circuit always stays in the comfortable optimum of the operating system of whoever is wielding it. Then right here is blue Larimar. Larimar is a fantastic 5th and 6th chakra stimulant, and being an extreme stone of oceanic calm goddess energy. So it brings a great deal of clarity and truth and peace, of course, in the vibratory structure, as well as being one of those calming agents that will be very conducive to the abundant state in a lot of ways. Alrighty. And right here, a little pink ray and counterbalance to the green ray excess focus seen right here. This would be kunzite. Kunzite's a pink ray lithium-based high heart stimulant that's very soothing and calming to the emotional heart, with root-related course to accelerate into morganite. Morganite is a beryl family, which means it, of course, is a pink ray cousin to emerald. So morganite, more recently discovered, otherwise it would have most certainly been a stone of antiquity and precious stone, but it's a newer discovery, but better late than never to be utilized for vibrational engineering purposes. Makes it for the impeccable 8.5 out of 10 the hardness love frequency emanation. So even a small dose of this goes a long way in a closed-loop reactive circuit. So the pink ray divine love cousin to emerald makes a very powerful divine love frequency alignment. And that would be the entirety of the engine section discussed. So going up here, of course, the transmutation bands to the solenoid band, and I'll go ahead and discuss the primary thumb engagement. So the design of the construct, of course, is designed to engage the thumb like so, and the crook of these 8 clear quartz beads were made to actually be somewhat like homage to a trigger, so that the pulse of the abundance frequency actually gets engaged like so. So the thumb engagement, seen right here, consists of Libyan gold tektite, being a tremendous gold ray solar plexus and sacrum chakra stimulant, as well as being a strong fire energy with storm full light body activation overtones, which was actually a stone utilized in ancient Egypt by the pharaoh caste to be carved into scarab beetles to be worn on their breastplates of the Magi God King. So its mystical connotations of being a very, very powerful ancient god, king, queen energy is very powerful and very relevant today, as well as being a tremendous dharmic accelerant by aligning one's energy with their highest intentional dharmic configuration. Then seen right here in the thumb engagement, a small faceted clear quartz to intensify a authentic diamond seen right here. Diamonds, of course, are 10 out of 10 hardness, most famous precious stone in human history, and have a very strong vibratory pitch of sovereign energy. So naturally, having that little dose of diamond through the entire construct will go a very long way to intensify and basically make the invincibility frequency of abundance through the entire structure. So, and obviously, diamonds are great stones of opulence and abundance, and so even having a small dose of diamond here goes a very long way to intensify the broadcast of a typically abundant classic frequency of that nature. So on the back side right here of this primary thumb engagement is actually a rather critical component to what I consider to be the successful abundance ratio, is moss green agate. Moss green agate is the most stabilizing green ray energy in the mineral kingdom, so it's one thing to have an exaggeration of the green ray of abundance being very prominent for broadcast purposes, but it's also about the stabilization of the receptivity of this abundance to make it a stabilized energy is what is of the essence as well, which is represented in the thumb engagement to have the primary energy when engaged have the stabilized green ray on the backside to ensure the stabilized contact patch of abundance when, of course, when conceptually projected, to be able to receive the circular energy of abundance returning to you in a very stable fashion, to make it a consistent normalcy. And to further explain these opulent blade band around this would be the lovely legendary red ruby, like previously mentioned down here. Ruby is a classic stone of precious notoriety, of being a very powerful red ray root chakra stimulant. Then clear quartz to be an accelerating energy of this circuit into blue sapphire, another stone of antiquity and true precious notoriety, being a very powerful 5th and 6th chakra stimulant. So, when you have the aspect of red ruby and blue sapphire, they are a perfect antithesis combination to have the impeccable same frequency vibratory output of the red ray, then the blue ray, which being denoted to the stimulation of hydrogen in the base chakra, oxygen with the wind, blue ray, which makes a perpetual momentum of recirculation of energy, or perpetual restoration. So, and not to mention, these are both very, very precious stones of antiquity, which goes very nicely with a very opulent, abundant platform. Okay, so I'll be discussing the blade face next. Then right here is the green ray wonder of seraphinite. Seraphinite is a fantastic seraphic energy output that has a lovely stimulation to the heart chakra to bring seraphic healing energy through the entire structure from the entire field. As well as being named after the seraphic archangels, it has a very powerful energy connection to the seraphim realms. So the aspect of seraphinite also brings a great amount of master healing to the energy body, just like saragonite I mentioned down here. It makes for a very, very fantastic full clearing of any outmodel patterns that would be naturally impeding a fully functional light body. That would be basically the connotation also of being a true master healer and dismantle any patterns of dis-ease in any format. Then right here, part of the abundance ratios seen in great utilization is sunstone. Sunstone is another stone of opulence and abundance and quite simply positive, sunny, fun energy, which is a great, perfect balance to have such a powerful green ray receptive frequency, to also have the joyful output to bring stimulation to the sacrum and solar plexus and be a very powerful positivity energy as the abundant spectrum is being realized and being wielded. Then, like I mentioned about the thumb engagement, moss green agate plays a very critical role in the stabilization of the reception of this abundant energy when basically put through output. Can of course bring the receptive stabilization of the green ray to a very highlighted point to make the junction of abundance very stable in transition. At least that is the prominent intention of why that is there. Okay. So at the very apex of the blade band seen right here is a lovely piece of rose quartz to be a very powerful, another pink ray complementary high heart stimulant connection to divine love. Then right here is Tibetan black quartz, another full light body stimulant from the entirety of the auric field from top to bottom. As well as the coming from Tibet, has a very powerful Om emanation purification to the entire structure, which is a lovely master healer stimulant, just like the star argonite, the seraphinite, and the Tibetan healer quartz basically run the same kind of energetic pathway through the auric field to bring a powerful full light body healing capacity and discharge any impediments that be impeding a natural healthy light body that would be of dis-ease. So another master healer at the very apex. Then on the other side of that guy is another piece of rose quartz to further intensify the aspect of the business end of the blade, if you would, that pink ray love energy. Then right here, a rather critical component all light tech is the selenite seen right here. White selenite makes a very fantastic 6th and 7th and 8th, and then all the non-physical chakras back to one's highest self, to a clearing pathway to one's conscious self, to have a two-way gateway to the higher self ratio, as well as clearing any negativity through the entire auric field from top to bottom. And also where it really shines in any given spiritual is taking the entire aforementioned half-hour description thus far. It can take all these frequencies in a closed-loop circuit. It can purify all these emanations. It can harmonize all these emanations as well as amplify all these emanations. So when you take the trifecta of purifying all these frequencies, harmonizing all these frequencies and amplifying them, and that triumphant trifecta, that brings to the grounds for a truly successful spiritual, or a light blade wand, if you would, to, of course, give more purified, amplified, harmonized continuity of the entire closed loop circuit. Then down here are the kyanite spectrums, seen right here, of black kyanite to rapidly ground energy into the earth. Orange kyanite, seen right here, to rapidly configure the sacrum to the highest spiritual capacity in alignment with one's highest dark blueprint, as well as green kyanite to rapidly transfer the green ray heart energy to a very high optimum. Then blue kyanite to make a lovely third eye, sixth chakra stimulation. So the combination of the four kyanites together make for a very powerful transferences of this entire energy structure to make it very also auto-reactive to the requirements of the recipient's needs at any given moment. In that capacity, to always be vibrating in fluctuation and in flux to be in a perfect optimum with the recipient, as well as being the aspect too of the transference of the energy when wielded for this practitioner in sessions, for example, to of course have the transference of the energy be very rapid with the kyanite spectrums. Then seen right here, these would be the focalizer crystals. So as I've mentioned before, this entire structure, primary blade banding, is running on a figure 8 scaffolding, seen like so, to contain and recirculate perpetual momentum of energy. And the aspect also of the focalizer takes the entire focus there, since of course it's a wand, it's designed for directional broadcasting. These are grounded into the primary wire to give the focus of the energy's projection. So titanium ore quartz right here is a fantastic man-made crystal that actually has been very well utilized in light tech for many years now, for a good reason. Titanium aura quartz brings a very powerful strengthening to the entire auric field, since it is the energy of titanium, a titan-esque metal, brings a great strengthening to the entire field from top to bottom, as well as makes for a great densification focus of energy, hence it's behind the clear Lemurian quartz. Just like mentioned down here, being the main heart of the device technically, these clear quartz make for a fantastic neutral ambient energy that can of course take the excess energy and give it through a focus for broadcast. Much like so, to be able to of course align with my tree buddy back here, or the entire forest, of the abundant spectrum emanation to make the focus of the energy for a transference. And that would be the entirety of the crystalline structure mentioned. And I've already mentioned the intention of the leather, the sacred Egyptian mystery school badgings, as well as the honeycomb implementation, as well as its fraternal twin of the abundant spectrum, which is virtually identical but slightly different in very small capacities, just for the certain tailoring of the recipient, by just the subtlest, also of course more finished. This guy's yet to be fully finished, but they're fraternally twins, not identically, but they're very, very of course of the same archetypal nature and same resonant broadcast for this purpose. Like I've mentioned before, this is the 9th rendition in succession of this particular initiative of the abundance ratio. So in theory, that aspect too of developing these abundance constructs in succession is to develop vibrational compound interest, much like satellites pinging off each other, to intensify the broadband network of this particular frequency going through distribution. And it's designed to be a very heart-centered, stimulating energy to be that of the abundant spectrum. All right, well, 1,000 blessings to anyone that watched this, and may you have an abundant day.